Welcome back to the Life of a Wizard. Last time we left off when we went on an unsuccessful mission to kill Parnaxus, which didn't go well. And apparently we have retired. We're not going on any adventures anymore because we're too old. And I guess now we're just doing stuff. It's really boring. I don't know. I actually don't know. Well, we're gonna just get right into it now. It all began with a summons from the court wizard, Feraladan, to come to the castle immediately. I went right away and was allowed access past all the guards. The castle was a great representation of the kingdom. Everything was in disrepair and looked untidy. Yeah, just like my life. The inner soldiers were standing outside the throne room doors, and they looked nervous. I approached them with some apprehension, but they must have been told I was coming because they stepped aside to let me pass. I entered the throne room and saw King Gareth sitting on his throne, reloading a crossbow. His hair was more silver than gray. He was still in excellent physical shape. Prince Eric, his son, stood beside him with a panicked expression on his face. Prince Eric had grown into a handsome man at the age of 20. Ooh, and he looked like his father. They were both staring across the room where Prince Travis stood with the royal wizard Feraladan standing in front of him. Prince Travis was 29 years old and looked like his grandfather, the late King Norbert. At his feet, I saw an unmoving bundle of rich clothing with a spreading pool of bright red blood beneath it. It was Princess Emily, dead by the Mad King's own hand. Oh my God, no, not Princess Emily. This is madness, Feraladan boomed, his gnarled oak staff gripped tightly in his hand. King Gareth was giggling as he continued to turn the windlass on his crossbow. Drool ran from the corner of his mouth. His dark eyes looked slightly out of focus. Oh my God, he's gone crazy. He mustn't die. He'll have babies, King Gareth said in a high-pitched voice. Like a litter of rats, they'll come against me and try to take my throne. No, Uncle, Prince Travis said, his voice choked with emotion. Gareth, you've killed Emily, Feraladan said in a low voice, trying to make the Mad King see what he had done. Travis is your nephew. He loves you and supports you. Prince Eric is the rightful heir, so there is no threat. Kill him, King Gareth demanded of me. It was an enormous decision, and I had no time to think about it. Well, shit, okay, well, I'm casting magic against the Mad King, because, I don't want him to die. No, the other guy, Prince Travis. The flames poured forth from my hands, enveloping both King Gareth and Prince Eric. From within the fire, I saw King Gareth laughing like a lunatic as he squeezed the trigger on his crossbow. My eyes were then drawn to Feraladan, who fell to the hard floor with the bolt stuck in his chest. The final victim of the Mad King. Oh no, I didn't mean for him to die as well. Oh, this episode is off to a fantastic start. The guards rushed into the room as the last of the flames died down. After studying the 3 dead bodies, they looked to Prince Travis for an explanation of what they were seeing. In the days to follow, Prince Travis and myself concocted a story to protect our actions. Court Wizard Feraladan, mid-cast a spell, tarnished his reputation greatly. Claimed an assassin had entered the castle. Oh, which one? I mean... Okay, well, I guess Feraladan miscast a spell? It was... Oh... The evil side of me went +10. Great. It was unkind of us to besmirch the good wizard's name, but it had the desired effect. Nobody questioned the death of the king. Princess Emily, Prince Eric, and Wizard Feraladan were able to bury the bodies before anyone had a chance to investigate our story and uncover the truth. Queen Audrey, King Gareth, and Princess Emily's mother was never the same after the death of her children, and became unfit to rule. I suspected that her living with the Mad King had probably caused more damage than his death, but either way she abdicated to the throne. Prince Travis, as the next in line, was crowned king a few days after King Gareth's funeral. Oh, okay, well, on one hand, I'm actually relieved that King Gareth is dead. But I probably shouldn't be saying that, but on the same hand, now he can't do all the crazy shit that he put everyone through. After having spent a few weeks in the castle helping, okay, that's nice, someone commented on her, like, excuse me, I'm in the middle of something here. Thank you. King Travis, no. After having spent a few weeks in the castle helping King Travis through his troubles, I was eager to leave. My parting never happened, however, because King Travis declared me to be the new royal wizard. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I was taken completely by surprise. Even my divination magic hadn't foreseen this turn of events. Yes, we can help out Daria and make it a great place. Woohoo! I'm not gonna use Daria. That's awful. I had a lot of work before me. I would need to strengthen every aspect of the kingdom and then raise my relationship with the 3 guilds and the 3 largest nations. It wouldn't hurt to have friends from each of the 3 other dominant races to help me with this. I moved into Fralidan's Wizard Tower, which rose from the center of the royal castle. My husband, Farandul Hawksong, moved in with me. Amber loved living in the royal castle, as it was like an enormous playground for an 8-year-old. The view from the top was amazing. It would take me several years to move Fralidan's belongings out, but it was truly a great place for a practitioner of the arts. My first few weeks in the tower were filled with restless nights, as many thoughts flooded through my mind. The kingdom of Daria was in shambles. The taxation system was brutal, the other nations hated us, the lands were lawless, and everything was in need of repair. The first day that I saw the royal treasury, I nearly cried. It was almost empty. The rumors that King Gareth had been hoarding his money were completely false. King Travis and I were in great trouble. Gareth, you motherfucker! I have no royal family, I guess, or not enough. Yep, well, I guess we're continuing. King Travis knew that he would need my knowledge in order to be a good king. There was a lot to be done if we were going to save Daria. Unfortunately, he didn't go out of his way to make my job easier. Kingdom report. Tax system, terrible. Agricultural and farming, terrible. Absolutely everything is terrible, including the world we live in. Okay, so I can improve culture and okay. Ecology, mines, sawmills, fishing, etc. I have that. Improve infrastructure, roads, bridges, public buildings. Kingdom defense, soldiers and guards. Foreign relations, current diplomacy skills 78. Agriculture and farming. Kingdom faith. Well, can't do anything with kingdom faith. I don't know. I guess I'll go with infrastructure. The roads and bridges had been left to complete disrepair under King Gareth's reign. The roads themselves would be used for trade and military defense once they were fully operational. Meanwhile, it kept the workers gainfully employed, which reduced banditry considerably. Oh, reduced it. That's a good thing. Hooray. My first job was to speak with the guilds. They were Daria's strongest internal organizations, especially considering the state of the Royal Army and Royal Guard. I went to the Thieves Guild first, because I needed to get them to stop their activities for a few years, just long enough to get Daria out of its economic slump. Ah. I have no personality, so I can't talk them into laying down for you. Attempted to eradicate the Thieves Guild. Would that mean that it wasn't successful? I don't know. I only have two choices here. Oh, okay. Let's make it. It was a bold move to take them out of the equation entirely. I didn't have a very strong army at my back yet, but I handpicked a small force and sent them into Tornassa with orders to kill on sight. Oh my. I followed this up by having King Travis outlaw the Thieves Guild, making the organization illegal to be a part of. Let my soldiers do the work. They burned down all the guild hall and killed dozens of thieves, but unfortunately I didn't get them all. They were greatly reduced, but they weren't removed. The next stop was the Fighters Guild. Their needs were simple. They were hired to the strongest bidder for security and protection. With Daria's guards and army being so weak, I needed their help. Guess I'm gonna, try and speak to the guildmaster. Luckily, the guild respected me, and so did the guildmaster. I was able to get the fighters to work for Daria on a work now, pay later program that wasn't outrageously expensive. Once I had bolstered the town guard with guild fighters, our troubles with bandits started clearing up immediately. My final stop was my own guild, the Mage Guild. Archmage Lassius, the guildmaster, was happy to see me again, and it helped that I was a graduate of the academy. Sile, his raven, perched on his shoulder as I explained Daria's troubles and the need we have for mages in all areas of the kingdom's interest. Unlike the fighters or thieves guild, the mages had no interest in money, making things more difficult. Archmage Lassius listened with a serious expression on his face. Threatening to burn down the academy. Well, I'm not gonna do that, that's for sure. Yes, okay. My excellent relationship with the guild gave me a great advantage. Fair enough, okay. Master Lassius listened to my pleas with a stern look on his face. I believed that he was trying to groom me to be the new guildmaster. He agreed to all of my suggestions. Mages to bolster the town guard and the army were only the beginning. Magic made everything easier, from lifting stones during building projects to finding mineral deposits when mining. The Mage Guild was a great ally for Daria. Oh my god, everything is still terrible. I returned to the royal castle to report my actions with the guild to King Travis. Infrastructure is excellent. Everything is still terrible, I guess. Improve agriculture? I can't improve the tax system. That frickin' sucks. Oh, I guess I'll start with agriculture. I shared my knowledge of agriculture across all of Daria, showing them how to rotate their crops. Excuse me. Use better fertilizers, market their yield, and harvest more efficiently. We eventually began to see a surplus, which we then sold to other nations, improving our treasury as well. King Travis tried very hard to be a good king, but King Gareth's reign tainted everything he did. There were many people who did not want him on the throne. He was nervous, timid, and hadn't been trained to be a king. With the kingdom in tatters, the nations surrounding Daria began to get nervous. I knew that I would have to do something to keep Daria safe until things settled down. Unfortunately, King Gareth had sourced the reputation of the kingdom. Okay, here we go. Oh. Okay, I'm going, I don't know, I guess, Elf Queen. I mounted Spirit and traveled deep into the Alderheart Forest. I had no trouble getting again, that word, the Elf City. The Queen greeted me herself, her unearthly beauty still visible despite her obvious anger. I heard that you have been assigned to be the new royal wizard, the Queen said. Fereldan was an honorable man, and we shall miss him. We wish to continue working with Daria, but King Gareth had made this difficult. Over his reign, he changed our boundary lines many times. She unrolled a large map with 3 sets of boundary lines transcribed across it. I could see the original set, the set that King Gareth had rewritten, and a third set that the elves wanted. I saw immediately that the third set of boundaries would greatly reduce the amount of forest that loggers, hunters and trappers from Daria could use. Oh, I hate it when people just decide to wipe out random forests, which is just... Anyway. Use... And it would also require 2 small villages to relocate entirely. The elves wanted more trees at our expense. Yes. I agreed. Okay, I don't know, maybe I should explain the whole situation? The queen hadn't been intending to blackmail Daria, but she was a good person. And after I explained that the kingdom was struggling and that there wasn't a good time to make such a change, she agreed and apologized for seeming rude. Oh, okay, so we can go to all 3, so I'm just gonna go to these ones in order. My trip to the Grey Mountains was much nicer this time since it was midsummer and there was no risk of snow. Spirit had no trouble with the foothills, and I soon found myself greeted by the dwarves and ushered below the mountains. The dwarf king had a scowl on his bearded face when I met him. He didn't get out of his throne, but instead sat before me with thick arms folded in front of him. Your king has been very unfair to us, he stated gruffly, referring to King Gareth. The tariffs he put on our goods are crippling our economy, and nobody can afford our weapons and armor. What are tariffs? Okay then. I feel like I should know what tariffs are. Oh my god, okay, I'll be... Oakley dokley then. That's what a tariff is. Yay, now we know. The more you know. Knowledge is a great thing. I am serious. I'm gonna remove the tariffs. I hope that's a good thing. The Dwarf King laughed heartily and hugged me on the spot. The dwarves were very happy with my decision to encourage free trade, as it would allow them to sell their goods across Daria tariff-free. I quickly learned that the kingdom of blacksmiths hated my decision. Dwarven goods were now so cheap that people were buying them instead. Okay, guess it's time to go to the Orc Chieftain. The journey into the wildlands went well. I didn't encounter any danger. The Orc Chieftain was wary of me since he had been treated poorly by King Gareth. The dungeons were still overflowing with Orc prisoners, all having been incarcerated without trial, although many of them were guilty of their crimes. The Orc Chieftain wanted them all released. Yeah, of course. No. Oh no. I'm gonna release them. I don't. The orcs ran rampant across the kingdom. Banditry rose, and I'm stupid. And nobody was safe. It was easy to chart the journey of these newly released orcs as they returned to their home in the west. Luckily, the surge in crime was relatively short-lived as they returned to their own land. Okay then, well that's good. I'm glad they didn't decide to kill everyone. Poor. Okay, I could only hope that the other nations would leave Daria alone. We needed time to lick our wounds and gain strength. The kingdom was beginning to talk about the improvements across Daria. Yeah. Okay then, improve foreign relations. It wasn't just the elf, dwarf, and orc nations that needed to be dealt with. There were also the barbarian clans to the north, the Mariner nation to the east, and the desert empire of Jalal to the south. Formal treaties, better tariff laws, increased trade, and solid borders meant safety from foreign invasion as well as increased gold for the royal treasury. It didn't take long to see that King Travis was going to have troubles as a ruler. I knew that he wasn't trained to be a king, but I hoped that with my knowledge, he could learn. Unfortunately, I couldn't teach him confidence and strength. He had been a timid and nervous boy, and now he was a timid and nervous king. I began to question my decision to put him on the throne. Wait a minute, did I even have a choice in this matter? More trouble arrived a few years into my time as a royal court wizard. The new elemental plane of fire seemed to declare war upon Daria, and suddenly every fire in the land became a portal into the fiery dimension, and elementals poured into the land. The fire creatures killed many citizens and burned down many houses. Most of the kingdom thought that the gods themselves were angry at our nation, but I knew that had to be an arcane reason for their incursion. Huh? Can I do that? Can I unsummon them? I'm gonna do that. It was difficult as the phenomenon was occurring all across Daria. I sent thousands of fire imps back to their own plane and even created a mass unsummoning spell which worked wonders. Eventually I learned that the problem was on the other side of the rift. What? I crossed through one of the portals and entered the elemental plane of fire. It took a lot of magic not to succumb to the intense heat and brightness. Well, okay, apparently I don't know where to go. Good. Foreign relations are good. They're not great, but they're good. I didn't know where to go, so after wandering around for a bit, I returned to my own plane. We experienced many losses during those years. Innocent people were killed and buildings were destroyed. Eventually, the incursions stopped happening, ending as abruptly and mysteriously as they had begun. Okay, then. Okay, can I prove ecology? I am 100% on that, so I should bring it up to excellent and not terrible. Natural resources of wood, stone, and ore were essential for our building projects, defense equipment, roads, and implements of war. My knowledge helped increase our lumber yields and improve the safety of our mines and lumber yards. All across the kingdom improved as these new methods were taught across Daria. I remember when I got the news that Amber had... Oh my god, no, our daughter has been kidnapped! I was frantic and furious. I couldn't believe that someone would use an innocent 11-year-old as a leverage against me. I received a scroll telling me that I had to pay 5,000 gold. Oh my god, that is crazy. Or I'd never see my child again. Back. Yay, Shadow. Track them. It only took a few sniffs and Shadow was after the scent. I was led to a small cottage just out of Tornassa. Can I do that? Oh no. Wait, what about my child? I don't want to burn. Okay, I'm just going to kick down the door. 3 men were sitting around a table, but they all jumped to their feet upon seeing me. I saw Amber in a back room, tied up with rope and blindfolded. Oh my god. Okay, then I'm going. Okay, kill them with bare hands or blast the kidnappers with fire. What? Okay, I'm just gonna blast them with fire. Oh, well then. They were thrown across the cottage and killed instantly. I was thrilled to have saved Amber, but I realized that by killing the kidnappers I couldn't interrogate them in order to learn if others had been involved. Well then, I'm sorry. I untied Amber and soothed her fears before returning to my tower. I spent a lot of my days doing paperwork, as there was always seemed to be some detail that needed to be looked into. It was through this paperwork that I learned about the blight. A few farmers were complaining that they couldn't pay their taxes because of a poor harvest. This wasn't too strange by itself, but when I compared it to the previous years, I could see that the area of trouble was growing. I left for the infected farms immediately. When I arrived, I saw that all sorts of vegetation was under attack, from trees to grass to crops. Everything seemed to be turning yellow and rotting, despite all attempts to save the plants. Summoned wood sprite to help me. Knowledge of nature to try to clear the blight. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna summon a wood sprite. The wood sprite had great affinity with the land and fell over immediately. Oh no! I'm so sorry. He'd been poisoned. I found out that if I walked in a certain direction, the sprite regained health, but in the opposite direction, it got worse. I don't want to kill the sprite, though. But I gotta find the infection and get rid of it. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna lead him into the blight. Every step closer made the little sprite suffer more. Oh god, I'm sorry. It fell over dead just as I found the source of the blight. The magical link between the sprite and the land was fascinating to behold. The infection all came from a single tree in the center of a small forest of rotted vegetation. It was obviously not natural, but it was also not readily apparent as to why this tree is spreading disease across the land. What? What the hell? I'm not gonna leave the tree alone. Oh my god. Chop down. It wasn't too difficult to find an axe, but I realized I was in trouble the instant my axe struck the tree. The blade flew through the trunk with no resistance, causing the tree to splash into a green, vicious goo. The sickening slop got all over my hands and onto the ground. I became very sick and nauseous. Oh my god, no. Stay conscious through sheer determination. It was close, but I managed to scrape off the green slime and step away from the destroyed tree, learning firsthand how the poison worked. A small man covered in pus oozing lesions stepped forward from behind the destroyed tree. The pus-covered man said he was actually the avatar to the god of pestilence, corruption, and disease. He said that he was being worshipped by a new cult of followers, and the blight was his gift to the world. You asshole! I'm gonna attack him. Do it. Attack him. I knew that a god was impossible to kill, but it was entirely possible to dispel the god's avatar. The creature would be strong, but it would be killed, which would disperse the god's energies and hopefully stop the god from returning anytime soon. Okay then, well, I guess I'm going to stab him through the heart. The man fell to the ground and his body died, sending the avatar back to its own plane of existence. The blight went away in a matter of days, and all the vegetation became lush and green once more. The farmlands became bountiful, and the kingdom was very happy. Yay! We're good with ecology and infrastructure. Agriculture and farming is tolerable. What's culture and education? Okay then. Kingdom defense. Okay, well, that's not going to be good, but I'm going to improve kingdom defense. The defense of Doria was split in two areas, internal and external. City guards were trained to defend against bandits and wild creatures, while the army was trained to defend against other nations and magical invasions. I consulted with the generals, captains, and other officers, sharing my vast knowledge of military strategy. King Travis tried to be a good king, but his timid personality and lack of confidence made many troubles. All of the nobles who worked for him quickly learned how to take advantage of this. Wow, okay. Slap the king and call them names. No, I'm gonna help him. Techniques to use on nobles, or mistakes of previous rulers. Okay, I'm gonna teach him the mistakes. He wasn't the first weak king. I showed him how the kingdom suffered when the king was timid and lacked confidence. He did his best to stand up for the nobles. King Travis had been on the throne for a few years when he received a missive from a distant northern duchy. English. Whatever. The Duke asked when we would be picking up the taxes that had been stockpiling for years. It had been a clerical error. We hadn't realized the oversight. We decided to send the money to Tornassa by caravan immediately. Unfortunately, word of the rich target became public. I decided to go to the duchy to escort the coins safely to Tornassa. Thank the gods you arrived, the Duke said. He was a good and honest man, having collected the money without spending it. I commended him for his integrity before leaving with the cargo train of gold. We had barely left the northern city when trouble arrived. The caravan master and his guards tried to double-cross us by demanding a higher wage than we had negotiated before leaving. He was a dwarf, so his greedy nature seemed natural. That's the guards. Nope. I fired them. The dwarves stood dumbstruck for some time, but finally they laughed and walked away. They weren't thieves. They were simply trying to extort more money from me. I found myself in the wilderness with several saddlebags full of gold. Okay. But if you fly the money back on the carpet, wouldn't some of it fall off? Hmm? Can I carry it? Can I carry on with it? No. Okay, I'm gonna fly it on the magic carpet. I stacked the bags of gold onto my flying carpet and rose up into the air. I trusted Spirit to reach Tornassa without me, which it did. I arrived in Tornassa with the money, rushing quickly behind the walls before any more trouble arose. Yay! Brought money to the royal treasury, kept money for myself. Oh no, I am not doing that. Give the money to charity. Ooh, can I do that? I don't care what mistakes I'll make if I choose this, but I am going to give the money to charity. It was found money. The budget for the year hadn't included it, so we weren't behind in any areas. The homeless were fed, the injured were healed, and orphans were found homes. Yay! That's awesome. Okay. Alright then. Summoning, it's good. Transmutation, it's good. Okay, well, actually, I'm gonna choose to continue to study a little bit of everything. That way I can study everything. Economics, I think I'm gonna study more of that. Good, poor, poor. Kingdom faith is poor. Kingdom defense is poor. I'm sorry. Improved tax system. Ooh, we can finally do that. That's good, okay. I applied my knowledge of economics to the Dore tax system, trying to make it fair and balanced. I had seen firsthand how an unfair system quickly fell apart. I knew that if it were fair for all, Daria's coffers would quickly fill back up. It was a long and cumbersome project, but I made some improvements. Oh my god, we're 60 years old, what? Holy crap. That's... What? Okay then, when I reached my 60th birthday, I knew that I was no longer a young person. We're so old. Yes, oh, of course. Despite my age, I stayed physically fit. Because, you know, you see a lot of old people, they're like in their 70s or their 60s, and they're freaking, holy crap, some of them can run. I don't know. Yeah, do that. I stayed very active and fit, knowing that it was the best way to stay healthy. I found it hard to believe when Amber turned 18. Yeah, Amber's 18. Woo! What? Didn't play favorites. As court wizard, I pulled some strings to find a really good job. Okay. Alright then. I had a lot of options that would allow Amber to get a great job. Ooh. Okay. Spoke to Lassius and made Amber an officer in the army. An officer in the army. What a smithy. Alright, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna make her, no, I'm gonna speak to Lassius. Lassius then spoke to Master Durgan, the doorkeeper. When Amber arrived at the academy, access was granted immediately. We discussed her training from time to time. Yeah. The barbarian clans to the north had always been a constant threat to Daria, but their lack of true organization and leadership had always kept them in check. They seemed to change overnight when we began to hear about villages along the northern border being raided by hordes of wild Northmen. Damn barbarians. I left Tornassa and traveled to one of these border villages in order to see for myself. The village I stayed in reminded me of where I grew up, making it especially difficult when the attack came. It reminded me of the orc attack upon my own home all those years ago. The screaming, bearded barbarians were ruthless in their assault. Oh, no. Okay, I'm gonna hire fighters. The mercenaries I hired were enough to tip the battle in their favor. The village was saved from the barbarian raid. I managed to find one injured barbarian who had been left for dead. Ha! Yay! Oh? Oh no. Okay, none of these sound good. Well, raise him back. What does that mean? Didn't die, didn't raise him back. Okay, well, I guess I'm gotta get some information from him. He held up for a long time, which was a great surprise to me, but he eventually broke. He told me that the barbarian clans were planning to attack Tornassa. I left immediately. Evil plus 10. This is not good. We are... Oh my god. Oh, I can afford it. We're still good. Good, that's good. As long as we're not half and half, or... That's good. I got back just in time to see the first ships appear on the horizon. I'm not gonna, I don't want the capital city to be raided, but why? Okay then. The barbarians poured into the streets, killing people at will. I protected my tower. Oh my. But I allowed the rest of the city to fall. Many people were killed that day. I knew that the barbarians had to pay for what they had done, so I left for the far north, planning to find the barbarian king and end the war. The Northlands were cold and beautiful. I had never crossed over the Grey Mountains before. Although I had been beneath them, visiting the dwarves, but I had never gone so far past them. Eventually, I found the barbarian king. Unfortunately, he was surrounded by thousands of warriors. Of course he is. I'm gonna fly over with my magic carpet. The warriors yelled up at me, but there was nothing they could do as I soared overhead. The barbarian king held up a hand as I landed, holding his warriors back. Got a voice for him. Okay, he's a barbarian. I don't know how barbarians sound. Why have you come? The barbarian king demanded. I am Silverstorm, Royal Wizard to King Travis, I told him. You must stop these senseless raids immediately. Instead of listening to me, he laughed. Soon all the barbarians around him were laughing as well. Okay, I'm going to challenge him to a magic-free duel. Ah! The warriors around him roared in laughter. To see an older person like myself challenging the barbarian king to a one-on-one fight with no magic. We are a 60-year-old going up against a friggin' barbarian king. But we won. The laughter ended when they saw my skills. I fought him with everything I had, and he died at my hands. Oh my god. Causing a hush to follow the barbarians as per their custom, I was granted a boon. Okay, whatever the fuck that is. I commanded them to leave Daria alone and pay restitution for the damage they had caused. They agreed and I returned to Tornassa. The barbarian raids were no more. Yes! As I waited for the barbarians to promise me an end to the raids, I saw a flash of white in the trees. I paused several times trying to figure out what it was. Eventually, ooh, Hedwig? A snowy white owl drifted down from the branches and landed before me. It was beautiful, and I could feel the potential connection. I wonder what would happen if I hadn't already bonded with Shadow, my dog. We bonded with Shadow, my dog? I honestly don't know what that means. But I want the snowy owl. I love owls. Culture and education. It's the last one on the list that we have to improve. I firmly believed that the people needed to be educated in order to be productive. Schools and universities, not just for majors, would help teach the people and bring prosperity back to Daria. I remember the day I found a very interesting passage in an old book. It spoke of the undead in a practical way that I had never seen before. Unfortunately, it was very old, so the geography was difficult to follow. Recognized the historical period and knew the passage referred to. Never did find out where the crypt was or... No. Okay, first choice. I was well read, so I knew where the passage referred to. I set out for the crypt immediately. I rode Spirit to the crypt that was mentioned in the old book. It was in a small town in the center of Daria. The crypt was locked up tight, but much more interesting than that. It seemed to be impenetrable to magic. Oh, I don't want to speak to the priests. Even we do not enter that crypt, the old priest said. I told them that I needed to get inside. Oh my. What? Why would I beat up the priests? Okay, well, I gotta do it, because we need to go inside this crypt for a reason. Evil, +10, we're getting more evil. The old men were weak, and I wasn't gentle with them as I broke their old bones. I had no difficulty in taking away their key. I went through the crypt and let myself in. Oh my God, why? The crypt was amazing. I was delighted to find an entire alchemical lab and workroom. It didn't take me long to realize that I had stumbled upon everything necessary to turn myself into a lich, an undead mage, undying and eternal. I don't want to do that. Burn down the crypt, destroying the evil equipment. Yes, I am going to do that. Yay! We made it up. We got good, +20. The fire burned brightly, followed by several explosions. I don't know how many undead were caught up in the blaze, but I felt much better knowing that such magic was gone forever. I was in my early 60s when Master Lassius passed away. Oh no, Master Lassius. All the graduates of the Academy, I can't read English, of the Academy gathered to find out who would be elevated into the position of Archmage. Aww. Okay. I went to the Academy to join in the ceremonies. The funeral service for Archmage Lassius was very moving. After he was properly buried, all of the wizards gathered to vote for the next Archmage. Master Durgan. I'm gonna vote for Master Durgan. I wasn't too surprised when Master Durgan was declared the new Archmage of the Guild and the Academy. He deserved a job. It was nice to have someone friendly to me get the position. A holiday was declared in Tornassa out of respect for Lassius. Oh. What? Why would I cancel the celebration? Dude. Shift those barrels of wine. The wizards were happy to have the alcohol, and I even heard that a few toasts were made to me, the royal wizard. Nice. I remember the day I received word that my parents had died. Oh my God, no. Farandul and Amber accompanied me back to my village to pay our respects. The service was full of people. My parents had been really well liked. The mayor of the town gave me an amulet that my parents had owned. He said that the amulet had been owned by my grandfather as well. I took the family heirloom. My family household was sold, and I was given the proceeds. I'm not keeping the money. Damn it. Oh, goodness. The money would be used to help others. I think my parents would have liked that. Well, that's awesome. I guess we have nothing to improve the kingdom. Doing nothing. I spent a lot of time in my tower, shut away from the kingdom and its problems. King Travis was 44 years old, and people were becoming extremely nervous that there was no heir to the throne. It was obvious that the king needed to get married. I invited King Travis up to my tower for dinner so we could discuss the problem. Travis was a good lad. He respected women greatly, to the point that he stayed away from them. His shy and timid nature made him unable to even speak to them properly. Well, aren't you just a little bit like Raj? Any Big Bang Theory fans out there? Hope you understood that. He'd have to get over it, as the kingdom needed a queen. There were a few suitable choices, but only one lady stood out. Oh my God, why? Oh. Huh? Yasmin, Elf Queen's daughter? Oh my. Human girl had been raised by the Dwarf King's wife. Gretchen Cragpock? That's a weird name. Orc Chieftain's daughter? Gwen, rich young merchant's daughter from Tornassa, whom I've seen Travis looking at. Well, if Travis is looking at her, we'll give her a shot. Yasmin was a beautiful exotic elf, tall and slender like a mother. I sent for her immediately. The elves came to Tornassa. Oh, why? Oh, yeah, did anyone see me click on Gwen? 'Cause I did. I clicked Gwen, not Yasmin. Well, now we're screwed. We were eager for the marriage as well. It would be a great way to bind our strong nations together. The entire city of Tornassa exploded with the news that King Travis was courting Yasmin. After a suitable length of time, they became betrothed. The day of their wedding was very exciting, with dignitaries and nobles from all over Daria in attendance. I remember how close we came to total disaster when a crossbow bolt soared overhead towards the king. Oh my god. Ah, that's not fair. Okay then. I guess we're going to sacrifice our life. Well, I guess this is the end of our story here. Oh. The bolt struck me in the upper leg, smashing me to the ground. It would continue to ache in bad weather for the rest of my life, making it difficult to sleep and very distracting during longer meditations. Well, that just sucks. That was my wand. Sorry, painfully got back to my feet. Wonderful. My athleticism allowed me to catch. God damn it, me and my 60-year-old limbs. Dear assassin. Oh yeah. Okay then. Well, I guess we don't know who tried to kill the king. It put a real damper on the wedding since we had to cut many of the festivities short. The kingdom was ecstatic when the queen became pregnant a year later, giving birth to a human boy named Kyle. Ah, okay. The entire kingdom breathed a sigh of relief when the boy was born. The royal family had an heir to the throne. I think Travis fell in love with Yasmin. Either way, he treated her with great respect. The situation in Daria was coming along nicely, and the citizens were very happy with all the changes I had made. My magical might had grown considerably through the years, although I didn't rely solely upon reading the books of other wizards. As a true mage, my tower held all sorts of experiments. My arcane research in the various branches of magic was very expensive, but well worth it. I had 420 gold. 420, blaze it! Well then, I guess I can't research anymore. Amber was doing quite well as a wizard. Hey, that's her daughter. Of course I'm gonna visit her. Faerindul and I enjoyed our visits. We were happy when we heard that Amber had gotten... Yeah, she's married. We were even happier when our grandson, Matt, was born. He was a precious little boy. Matt, you wonderful little grandson, you. Oh my god. How are we already that old? I don't get it. I was in my early 70s when my family heirloom caused the kingdom great troubles. The only thing I had ever learned about the amulet was that it had belonged by my grandfather, a little-known wizard who had traveled to the southern desert empire of Jalal. My studies indicated that I had stolen the amulet from an evil wizard after killing him to protect some innocent people. My arcane studies revealed that the amulet had a remarkable ability. It could cause magic to unravel itself. The wonderful artifact would have been extremely powerful, but I couldn't get it to reliably dispel magic. It only worked intermittently. I was reading my tower the day it happened. Prince Kyle, a rambunctious 5-year-old, was playing at my feet while King Travis and Queen Yasmin held court. I didn't mind watching the prince and allowed me to build a relationship with their heir to the throne. My husband, Faerindul, was visiting Amber at her home, likely asking about our 29-year-old child about grandchildren. Oh, Faerindul. Suddenly, my amulet began to glow with a light I'd never seen before. I scrambled to my feet and studied the situation with my arcane sight. Somehow the amulet had activated itself and was nullifying the magic in the room. Without warning, I found myself falling and falling. What the hell? I awoke with the sun beating down on my face and a large gap-toothed man hovering over me. From my prone position, I couldn't see any buildings nearby. Just a man standing over me with a few other men standing around a wagon nearby. He was going through my pockets and had already taken away most of my personal belongings. What the hell? Dude, what is going on? I am confused. Send a pack of wolves. My spell fell flat and nothing happened. It was as though I was muttering gibberish, and it didn't take me long to realize what had happened. The amulet had teleported me to another plane of existence, one where magic didn't work. Oh my god, we're in a land without magic. I hope any of you got that reference. The scariest thing was, without magic, I was trapped. The amulet was the perfect mage assassin tool. I found myself missing Shadow, my dog, right away. This was the first time we had been apart since we had met. The man took away the last of my belongings and asked me to extend my hands. He wanted to put a pair of shackles onto my wrists. I'm gonna punch you in the nose. I felt the crack of his nose beneath my fist. He stepped back, no smile on his face. As his nose ran freely with blood, the other men around the wagon stepped forward and wrestled me to the ground, forcing the shackles on my wrists, and I was thrown into the wagon, where I saw several others who were also in chains. My life as a slave had begun. What the hell? Wait, so we're in a completely different world now. Alright then. The cart rumbled along for several hours as I bounced around in the back. Wait, okay, come on now. You can't make a 70-year-old be a slave. That's not cool. I was led to a dirt ring surrounded by cheering people. Another slave stood across from me. He yelled something incomprehensible and attacked me. The fuck is wrong with you? The slave who attacked me didn't have a chance. They paired me against a sick and weak person, no doubt thinking that I would be weak due to my age. The crowd cheered my victory, after which I was thrown back into the pit. The life of a gladiator was pretty good. The audience loved my advantage age, finding me new and interesting compared to their slave fighters. I learned that the people on this side called themselves the Valorn, but they were honest, hard-working people with no magic of their own. I continue to win my matches, even though I'm more than 70 years old. The more matches I won, the better my living conditions. I was given good food and a nice bed to sleep in. I climbed the ranks and gained the respect of the other gladiators. My life as a gladiator was very simple. As long as I won my fights, I lived a very luxurious lifestyle. I remember the day I was scheduled to compete against a champion. The roar of the crowd was defeating, and I was quite pleased to see that nearly half of the audience was cheering for me to win. We are the champion. I could hardly believe it when I landed the blow that brought the current champion down. The crowd went wild, cheering me on and roaring with appreciation. My victory was short-lived, however. Bells began to ring, and I was hurried back to my room. The rest of the fights for the day were canceled. Why? Oh my god. Word came after a few days the nation was going to war. There was talk about holes in the sky that led to a land full of riches. I quickly surmised that this was my homeworld and that they spoke of. Somehow my amulet had created multiple bridges across the plains. You have rips in the fabric of space and time. That's not good. We're all gonna die. I began to rack my brain for a way to find one of those holes, when the opportunity fell into my lap. I was told that I was now a soldier in the army. I took the roll and found myself marching across the line with other recruits. I could barely suppress a smile as we were led through one of these holes and back into my home world. I could feel my magic return immediately. I looked past the soldiers around me and saw the outline of Tornassa in the distance. They were marching on the capital city. The Valorn people had no magic. Their very world made mystical arts cease to function, but they were very fierce warriors. Add to that their enormous population, it was easy to... Oh my god, okay. It was easy to see how they had made it to the steps of the kingdom's capital. The wizards of the Academy had helped a bit, but even they could not hold against the sheer tenacity and determination of the Valoran. Once a few wizards had been killed, others stopped volunteering to help, and the tide of the war turned against the kingdom. Waited for our army to attack Tornassa and then entered with them. No, I'm going to summon demons! Huh. Oh, it felt good to be casting again. Soldiers didn't know what was happening as demons of all sizes appeared among them. I was able to walk through the chaos and into Tornassa without any trouble. King Travis greeted me warmly as I did my husband, Arundel. I was happy to hear that they hadn't found a new court wizard while I was gone. Prince Kyle had been found in my tower, alone but safe. The invading armies had shown up several months later, but they were never connected to the two events. I looked out the window and saw that the invaders had completely surrounded Tornassa. The aliens wouldn't stop. They just kept sending invasion force after invasion force. Marshaled troops and led brilliant counterattack. Can we do that? Release a counterattack. We sallied forth from the castle and struck the enemy from 3 sides at once. It was a masterful maneuver. They collapsed under our might, giving us the respite we needed. It was a little strange having the entire nation so close to us, yet not on a conventional map. I spent the days in my tower preparing a solution. I had figured out that my magic nullifying amulet wasn't a trap for mages, but rather it had loosened the planar seal, melting away into the other world by accident. I suspected that if I could get my hands on the amulet again, I could seal the planes shut for good. Okay. Bribed an officer to get my things back. The kingdom's treasury was used to pay the man. Oh, screw you, Mr. Grady Guts. We had to wait several weeks, but he eventually returned to Tornassa with a box containing my stolen belongings. I noticed that my gold had not been returned. Son of a bitch. With the amulet in my hands once again, I rushed back to my tower. I spent a few weeks preparing the spell before I cast it. The amulet flared brightly once again as the holes between the worlds snapped shut. The remains of the army were trapped on our side for good. The war was over. The time I had spent as a pit fighter and a soldier had taught me many things. I recruited the men I knew from captured prisoners. With all the connections to their homeland gone, they pledged allegiance to the crown and to me. They would make excellent soldiers. Although I had wanted to spend time with my friends and family, there was a lot to do in those first few months after the Plain War ended. Besides the rebuilding, there was still thousands of Valoran citizens stuck in Daria. Well then. Huh? Okay. Well, I don't think I should execute the prisoners. Prisoners assimilated into society across the area. Alright. It was good to keep them away from each other, allowing them to become contributing members for the kingdom without being a threat to its security. Unfortunately, King Travis had not been idle when I was gone. Without my support, he gave up his authority as king to the nobles of the court. Travis! Why? He had signed away many of his ruling powers, giving them jurisdiction over several aspects of the kingdom. Wait. Okay. Well, this is going to affect my goodness. Oh, well, I can afford that. Okay, never mind. I'm almost 100% good, but we can sacrifice that. Oh, shit. Evil plus 30. Oh, my voice. They didn't expect me to commit such a drastic act. All of the existing nobles were killed and re-raised new citizens into positions. King Travis was appalled by my actions, but it worked. Good. Enchantment. I think I'm gonna work on that. Let's see here. Studied smithing. I studied every day, learning even more about smithing. Good. Well, improved kingdom defense. Well, we can do that. The defense of Daria was split into 2 areas, internal and external. Yeah, I feel like... Oh my god! Okay. While the army was trained to defend against other nations and magical invasions, I consulted the generals, captains, and other officers, sharing my vast knowledge of the military strategy. That is scary. Holy crap. I mean, unless that's a very good age and elves live for a long time. I remember my 80th birthday well. I was very introspective. Prince Kyle was 14 and old enough to begin tutelage under the royal court wizard. I didn't intend to continue serving as second monarch, so knew it was nearly time for me to retire. Oh my gosh. The tax system was still not fully functioning and the treasury was low. Unfortunately, my dreams of bringing forth a golden age were unfulfilled. Well, I guess we didn't unlock that achievement. Faerûndul, my husband, was eager for me to resign from my role as court wizard. King Travis, Queen Yasmin, and Prince Kyle were all sad to see me go, and I would miss them too. Travis had learned to deal with his timid personality. I think that the kingdom would do well until Kyle came into power. Durgan the Archmage selected an established wizard named Aram to replace me. I packed up my personal belongings, leaving the tower for the new royal wizard, and left Tornassla. That was the end of my official wizarding career. No! Really? Damn. Alright then. Achievement. Yay! We unlocked an achievement for retiring. Also, this video is retired because that is going to be the end. That was a new chapter. We're going to be moving on in the next video, but now hopefully you have been enjoying this series and this video as well. If you are, hit that button down below. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.